Alright, let us continue with Phoenix Wright. Oh, this is save. Alright, back. October 18, 10 AM, District Court, Courtroom number 4. Here we are again. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Why is he here again? The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 PM on October 15, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well, I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well, I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir, I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see. This here is the employee area. Oh, I mean, my face blocks some of the map. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 PM on that day. Why was she not on duty earlier? Past the security station there's the gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 PM, the security lady got to the guard station. Now jump ahead to later that day, 5 PM. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. The time of death was 2:30 PM. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. Are you sure? There's no blood. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? So about the bleeding, if this is real life, by the way. I don't know if the game works like this, but if you like cut someone when they're alive, their heart is still pumping, and it'll like pump the blood out, and so they'll bleed a lot. Whereas if a person is dead, and then you cut them, because the heart is not pumping, they don't bleed as much. And in fact, if you leave it long enough, if you have a corpse for long enough, the blood starts to clot. So then if the corpse has been like dead for a while and you stab them, they don't really bleed. Because the blood, for one, the heart is not pumping the blood. And so when you have a wound, the blood is under pressure because it's like, the heart's pumping. So the pressure pushes the blood out of your body. So if the heart's not bleeding, you don't bleed as much. And if the blood has clotted, it doesn't bleed as much. So what I'm saying is, if there's no blood at the scene of the crime, it's possible that he was stabbed quite a bit after he died. Right? He didn't die from the stab, he died from something else, and then somebody stabbed him. That's real life. I'm not sure if this game is that smart. Anyway, Gumshoe, anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to the whole thing again? Listen again! I'm sorry, could you describe that one more time? I should have known it would be you, pal. Fine, one more for the mentally challenged lawyer. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout. I thought I thought I would get to question him. All right, so we don't need to we don't need to. We don't need to. We don't need to. I thought there'd be more. Anyway. Alright, skip it. I think I can probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear. See, like, why would nobody in the real world would jump to that conclusion? Right. How medieval. Actually, court record. What is the autopsy? Cause pierced through the chest by a spear. The autopsy says that he died because of the spear. But there's no blood, is the problem. How medieval. Samurai spear added to the court record. Right. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? She didn't see anything. Understood. Let's call this security officer to the stand. Will the witness declare her name? ... My, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Just say your name. Your name, please. You're in trouble now, Edgeworth. Oh dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. You just call me Grandma. Your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witness to say their names. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. She's actually called Oldbag. So just call me Grandma. Oh my god. Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness. Your witness is crap, Edgeworth. Objection sustained! The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? No, you're not asking questions. Judge! He asked, the prosecutor asked questions. Yes, say I was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. Would they? ... You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. Witness testimony. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 PM. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through there since the morning. Well, I had some errands to run that morning. No, you were there. You were watching them. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5. Now, the murder happened at 2 PM, right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 PM. It was Powers! That man right there, and he was heading towards the studio. You saw the defendant then? Very well, let's begin the cross-examination. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination! I just want to see what I have. Autopsy report, map, keycard. Oh, the card key was in... The card key was in the dressing room. The card key was not on him. So unless he went there and then walked back again to his dressing room. But there's only a photo of him going in, there's not a photo of him coming out again. And it's photo number 2, which is kind of strange. So photo number 2, and he's going in, but there's no photo of him coming out, and there's no photo number 1. And the card key is not at the studio, it's at the employee area. So if he wouldn't have gotten into the studio without the card key. Right, anyway. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the gas station at 1 PM. So up until that time, anyone who wanted could go into the studio. Well, there wasn't a security guard at the gate, no. But the main gate was locked, dearie. You need an employee card key to get in. Right, the card key that I have. So what she's saying is no one who wasn't supposed to be there could get in. Was there anyone at the studio when you arrived at the guard station? Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through there since the morning. A run-through? They were working out a scene between the Steel Samurai and the evil magistrate. They got the basics figured out by noon and were to use the afternoon for practice. Rehearsal was supposed to start at 5. That's why poor old Hammer went to Studio 1 in the afternoon. So Powers was in his dressing room sleeping when he was supposed to be practicing. Talk about a laid-back hero. If there was a run-through in the morning, why did you only get there afternoon? I had some errands to run in the morning. What kind of errands? Oh, well, you know. I don't know. Answer the question. Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers observing, you know. Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station? Whippersnapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job. I'm not sure your boss will see it that way. Like, a gate's just a gate. You can just climb over the gate, can't you? Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs, always. Never missed one in all my years. Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run-through too. You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty. Not a bad idea. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. Did you see the victim then? Did I see poor old Hammer? Nope. He's already gone to the studio before I got back to the guard station. Tell us what happened next. I mean, one keycard can let multiple people through. I was at the main gate from then until 5. So you were watching there the whole time? No breaks, not even a second? Oh, of course, I'm a professional, you know. Or are you criticizing how I do my job, Whippersnapper? Yeah, I am criticizing. No, it's just after seeing you eating those donuts in the gas station yesterday. I can watch the gate and eat donuts at the same time. Snipper Wapper. Snipper Wapper? Old Windbag is losing it, Nick. Good. Why don't you raise an objection? So the witness was on duty through the afternoon the whole time. Very well. What did you see? Now the murder happened at 2:30 PM, right? How did you know that? Oh, ho, 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 I have my ways, that's overdressed young detective told me. I fed him some donuts and he talked and talked. If you ask me, that detective isn't cut for his job. Poor Detective Gumshoe getting rattled out by a security guard. Hold on. Okay, this is 2. $2.30. The spear. He was carrying the spear when he was walking through. Right. Oh wait! Actually no, I'm not sure. Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 PM. 2 PM? You sure? Sure as spit. Well, who was the man? Really, you should try not to get so excited at your age. You might strain something. ... Now, don't get your skivvies all in a bunch. I'll tell you who it was. It was Powers. That man right there. He was heading towards the studio. So you saw Mr. Powers. That's what I said. Got wax in your ears, Sonny. Nick, this is your chance. Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon. I'll say it again, it was him. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading towards the studio. What, this? Let me get this straight, Oldbag, Miss Oldbag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about a man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. ... What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo-Old Tokyo. Miss Oldbag, this is the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course! Didn't your mama teach you any sense, sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right? No, they can't. ... Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. Exclamation! I know that. I wasn't born yesterday. No one in this court is accusing you of that, Miss Witness. He's having trouble calling her Oldbag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? Humph, knows the old man. Of course I have proof. Nani? Nani? Even Edgeworth is surprised. The prosecution would like to ask the witness. Please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time. How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't any good evidence. It isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look. Yeah, it's not good evidence. Wow, Old Windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof then. The man in the photo. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg, see? Clear as day. Is it? That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? How do you know he's dragging his leg? So he has sprained his ankle. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. She's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals, okay. The man in the photo. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. Do you? Whippersnapper! Hey, I haven't said anything yet. I'll have you know that I'm not pointing fingers at anyone behind their backs. Yes, you are. Everything I've said is on the straight and narrow. The up and up. Oh no. Mr. Wright, please, for all our sakes, try not to upset the witness. I think Edgeworth has met his match. That morning during the run-through of the action scene, who was present at the run-through? Well, let's see. There was Powers, he is the Steel Samurai. Then Paul the Hammer, the evil magistrate. And me. And what exactly were you doing? Observing! Just observing. What about the assistant? Oh, she was off moving backdrops around and such. So she didn't see the run-through then. I saw Powers trip and fall. Trip and fall? Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai, what a laugh. Wait a minute, did he break the spear? So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better? I kissed it where it hurt. Let's just skip over that part, shall we? No, let's talk about it in great detail. Where was the assistant then? Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know anything about Powell's ankle. You may continue your testimony. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. He broke a prop? Sure, he did. His own samurai... Wait a minute. The samurai spear is broken? His own samurai spear. His samurai spear, the murder weapon? Luckily I was there with my duct tape to fix it. This strikes me as a significant detail. I better write this down in the court record. The murder weapon, a break in the shaft, has been mended with duct tape. A break in the shaft has been mended with duct tape? Apparently he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Was Mr. Powell's ankle badly sprained? Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch. Thus the nap. Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot, okay. I think we've heard enough, haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there is one thing that bothers me. Which is? Where is this steel samurai costume now? The judge is playing prosecutor. Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the steel samurai, yes? And it's clear that this person in the steel samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. Are you sure you're sure, Your Honor? Object! Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the steel samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. The judge is a better detective than all of us. We have to consider that possibility also. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice. Alright, here we go again. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 PM, true. The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No, you saw the steel samurai. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. So if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be this steel samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. The time of Hammer's death was 2:30 PM, true. Well, we're not... Is it? How do you know that? Hey, didn't I just explain? I gave donuts to the young detective. And then after some rubbish about it being a secret, pal, he told me everything. I see, Detective Gumshoe shares his fellow officers' fondness for donuts. The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. Are you absolutely sure? Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody suspicious looking passed by at all. Nobody suspicious looking, right. No one else went there. What about before you got to the guard station? You mean before 1 PM? Why, everyone was in the employee area before then. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention, if they had, I would have seen them. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. So this, the fact that it's photo number 2. Can I do it here? Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sirree, Sonny. So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture. And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right. Anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo I printed the words October 15, 2 p.m. photo number 2. Even I know that means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October the 15th, really, Sonny. Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2. Photo number 2? The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo? Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not one but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there is only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Yeah, the other photo is probably the evil magistrate. Only someone with access, the security lady herself. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice, that means 2 people went by. Well yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help. Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Good job, Edgeworth. Some help you are, you're a whippersnapper too. ... Whippersnapper? Something the matter, Miss Oldbag? Ah, that's right. I just remembered something. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate, someone other than the Steel Samurai. Well yes, I suppose you could put it that way.